Hello, today we're looking at the definitive organ for film scoring, or so the company claims, that company being Streamtechmusic. This is the second instrument they have produced. They've also made the iconic violin, which we might have to check out at some point. But anyway, this organ will set you back €49. We will be comparing it side by side with a free one you can get from Orchestral Tools. That is the Crucible. It's part of their Sign Factory series, a great series of free instruments. But the main differences between them, well, other than the price, of course, is you will get 5 different mic positions with this one, while you only get 3 here. This organ's a lot more flexible. You've got 25 different presets, as well as a load of different things you can kind of mess with to tune the organ to how you want it to be. You can stretch the sound out a bit. It's a lot more flexible, and the dynamics with this as well are a lot more flexible. But what do you expect? You're paying for it while the other one is free. In the end, I'm going to let the samples do the talking, but the paperwork, here it is, links in the description. You can read this at your own leisure. But we are going to jump straight into the free Kontakt Player. This is how it looks out of the box. Very simple UI. I absolutely love that about this. You have a mod wheel here, which basically controls your dynamics. The drop down here will open up the 25 different presets. You have your mic positions to the side, spot 1, spot 2, main, outrigger, and surround. And then you've got just a ton of different bits and bobs and knobs, you know, all the little knobbly bits you have on the organ. That is what these are, as well as you've got different positions. You've got the pedal bit as well. So lots and lots to mess with, lots you can actually go in and mess around with yourself, as well as the different presets. While if we actually move over quickly to Sign Factory, this is the free organ here. Right here, the Crucible organ, only one patch, but as we can see, we have 3 different mic positions: close, room, and gallery. Performance-wise, we have full sustains, you have staccatos, which you're not getting with the other one. We'll have to put that to the test and see how short we can really make it. You do have a light on this one, so instead of the dynamics, you have lighter sounds with this. You've got the just pedals as well, pedal staccato, pedal soft. So this is going to be an interesting side-by-side comparison. So back into the actual star of the show, or will it be? We shall see in the end. Let's play this out of the box and just see how it sounds, mess with the mod wheel as well. Then we're going to go in, look at each mic position side by side. We'll then probably move into Sign Factory, do the similar comparisons, and then really start messing around with some bits and bobs here and looking at some of the presets. Sounds like a plan? Let's get into the video and just play a little bit with this. It's a really beautiful sound right out the box. You really do have this flexibility. With the sound there, that I didn't demonstrate too much there because I've not got enough hands, but that is something you can do in post with your MIDI. But it just sounds all round natural. It's a beautiful little organ. I love the setup they have just out of the box. It sounds like an organ. You could easily get away with using this and people thinking it's a real organ, which is great and how it should be right out the box. Let's mess with some of these mic positions and see if we can hear much difference. So this is the spot 1. I love the little tail they have on this sound as well. Okay, let's look at the main. Definitely a little bit more of a tail. Let's look at them to the surround. Close your eyes for a second. I'm going to flick through them and just see if you can tell a difference when I actually flick through them. So close your eyes right now, and I'm just going to play them without talking and see if you can hear a difference between them. I think the biggest difference between the mic positions is the tail, is the end of it. The actual sound itself, I'm not hearing too much of a difference. Yes, the spot to the surround, if anything, is the one that stands out the most comparative to the rest. It definitely feels a bit further back, while the spot does have that nice, quicker release. I'm wishing a bit more from the mic positions. Personally, this is something, if we actually flick into the free one over here, I really do like. If we look at the difference, I'm just going to make sure the other one's muted, between the close and the room. So that's the close. There is a very big notable difference between those two. If we go to gallery now, not seeing as much difference between the close and the gallery, but there's a huge difference between the room and the other one. We're definitely getting a more unique sound. So although we do have 5 mic positions with this, are we getting 5 different sounds is the big question. We're definitely getting maybe 3-ish, maybe a bit more of a stereo feel with the outriggers, but I'm almost wanting a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, they sound beautiful. I'm absolutely loving the sound. I'm just wanting maybe a little bit more, maybe some more interesting sounds, maybe more of the actual hitting of the notes or more noise from the actual organ itself. That might have been a nice added feature. Anyway, let's look at some of these different presets, and then we're going to really dive in and play with some of these different sounds here. So that's the Majestic Organ Symphony. That's the one you get out of the box. Let's skip through and have a look at Discovery Flute. That one sounds interesting, actually. That's actually a really nice sound. I really like that. And there's a lot of detail in the sound. If we just pipe that up a bit, I know I've only got spot 1 on. Let's put the main on as well. But just the detail between the sounds, they've actually got the release really nicely tuned on this. I really like how the sample is. It just doesn't cut out. It sounds very realistic. And you've got a nice bit of air with that one, actually. The actual first one, I wasn't hearing it as much, but I really think actually with that spot, you're getting a nice bit of air. While if we just stick the main on, I'm seeing a bit more uniqueness now, actually. The spot is a lot more reedy, while the main is a lot fuller and richer. We're seeing a bit of differences now. That's nice to see, even though my initial complaint about the mic positions, I'm almost going slightly back on it now. Let's look at another one. I know that one was a little bit quiet, but you can pipe the mics up a little bit. You can pan them as well. That's what this is. But I do quite like them front and center. So let's try and fix that. There we go. Right, Discover Flute. That one was nice. Celestial Echo. Let's have a play with that one. That's nice and intimate. If anything, I'm loving these other presets. That first one to me, the Majestic Organ Symphony, I guess that is your classic organ sound, but I'm really liking the intimacy of these other ones and preferring them a lot more. But that, again, really nice, intimate and beautiful and well put together sound that just sounds like an organ. You won't get that with this instrument here. You'll only get, well, the full sustain, if I show you, which we just kind of heard there when I was flicking through my mic positions. We'll put Closer in Room on, which is this one. Mod wheel does nothing, but we do have the light sustains as well. But you're missing all this range down there and missing all the range up here. Same with the full sustain. You don't actually have the full range that you're getting with the instrument here. If you go into the advanced features, you can extend that range as well. Of course, that's not actually the sampled sound, that's a stretch sound, but you'll still get a rather realistic sound. And again, we can extend the other side of the range as well in this advanced part, so we can go even further. Which, again, you're stretching it above the range, but you have that option, which is always nice to have. There's latency as well, which can help if you're having some latency problems, so that's there. Options, we have a release tail. I really like how they've got it. There's a reverb, which is initially turned off, which is really nice to see. A lot of people stick the reverb on immediately as a high quality mode, which is nice to see if you have a powerful CPU. And to quiet as well on the mod wheel, that is nice. Enable layering, that's all this stuff going on over here, or grand, and you can mix the different sections as well. Really nice back end there, actually. Not too much, not too little. Very well presented and very easy to use. Features that are essential. Right, we've looked at a couple presets. We've definitely seen a huge difference in some of the sound. We're going to have a very quick flick through the actual sounds that we have. So I'm going to make sure that's turned off, and we'll just have a quick flick through some of these. A little bit loud there. Some of them are a little bit more on the quiet side, but that's understandable. And then now let's go further down, turn that on there, click over here. And then we've got our pedals down here as well. That's a nice bassy organ sound. Don't know if you can hear that. That's a sub bass. So what's really nice about this library, just flicking through all those sounds very quickly, there's so much choice, there's so much mixing and matching that you can do to really get the sound that you exactly want. Of course, you've got the presets out of the box. If you don't know that instrument that well, and I'm not saying I'm an organ expert, I've played around with the organ, but I'm not an expert at it. What's nice is you can just pick one that you like and play it. If you really do want to get into the nitty gritty and go through each sound and mess and play with them and layer them up, you can do that. There's some really nice advanced options where you can stretch the sound out. There is a reverb there, which we've had on. You've got flexibility with the mod wheel to really bring in the sound or not. You've got release triggers, some latency stuff. Mix in the sounds a little bit more if you're layering them up as well. There's a lot you can do. And although the mic positions, I wish there was more difference between them, they're enough. You have a close, intimate sound and you have a more distant sound. I really do like this library. There's a lot to it. And for €49, it's probably the only organ you're ever going to need. Believe me, don't use the Logic one. I hate the Logic one. I used it in a project once and regretted it. The client knew it was a fake organ. That was a long time ago though. And yes, don't forget we have this organ over here and it's beautiful and lovely. But no way near do we have the same amount of choice and options. Yes, if you just want a bog standard organ and you don't want all the extra little bits and bobs, this might be perfect for you. You do have multiple mic positions, you do have that organ sound, but if you're someone who's going to be using the organ a lot and want a little bit more flexibility, this is a good contender. Again, from a small company that has that quality that we'd expect from people like Spitfire Audio, Orchestral Tools. This is still a beautiful library, and that's what I'm really finding from doing YouTube, is there are so many great little companies out there that we should be looking into and maybe picking that over maybe the more mainstream one, because they do produce some excellent content, and this is one I will definitely recommend to somebody who's looking for an organ. Of course, there's free versions, but if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, you've got options, the quality is there, I can't fault the samples at all, and there's plenty of choice. Yes, it'd be nice to have some added effects and maybe more difference between the mic positions, but overall, for the price, I'm not going to complain. I like it. They've done a great job, and that's my unbiased opinion. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.